us Ms. Anju Virmani, Corporate Director and someone who's had a very illustrious career in Canada. Ms. Virmani, thank you so much for speaking to NDTV.
It is a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Ma'am, my first question to you is, as someone who's been so successful in Canada, how do you see the diaspora journey and the connect between the very vibrant Canadian-Indian diaspora and India here?
That's an amazing connection. You know, just because you leave India doesn't mean we lose our connections. We have our families, we have our culture. You know, I left India 50 years ago and I keep coming back. So, and this time as a special invitee. So it's the connections are amazing and they're from the soul, so you don't really lose them. And it's an opportunity for us to connect, collaborate, and learn from each other, and contribute to each other's prosperity.
As someone who's very closely involved in the Canadian society as well, I have to ask you this, how things have been shaping up the last couple of months in Canada as well, the political landscape and so on and so forth. How do you see that? Someone who's pretty much sailing in two boats, someone who's Indian but also, of course, Canadian.
Yeah, so I'm not a politician and I don't know all the facts. I just hear what the media reports. It makes me very sad. That's all I can say. It makes me really sad to see that the people to people connection is getting lost. The politics, the diplomacy will take care of itself. You know, it's a matter of time. People will figure out, negotiate, whatever they need to do. But from a people to people basis, I know of people who want to go to weddings in Canada. From here, they don't get visas. People from India, from Canada, who want to come back to visit their families, who are, you know, some are not in good health and they're not able to get visas. So that's the disappointing part. I think the people to people connection will probably overcome the political agenda. I don't know what that is.
Students are getting impacted, everybody's getting impacted.
It's a policy failure on many levels, at least on you know, I see a lot of Canadian students. It's a very sad situation because they've been, from what I hear from the media, they come with big dreams and things have not worked out for them. So it's really, it's a very sad situation, and I wish that our policymakers will do the right thing.
As a successful Canadian Indian woman, how do you feel the prospects of Miss Anand right now in the leadership race? It makes me very proud, but I want to ask you that.
I know Miss Anand. I've known her for a while, and she's a very bright, intelligent, wonderful woman. On a person-to-person level, you know, she's amazing, intelligent, what you need, and I hope she'll put her name put her hat in the race. You know, put her name.
Put her hat in the ring. Yes.
Put her hat in the race,
Yes.
and I respect her tremendously. Yes.
And do you think that it is people like her, or it's, you know, diaspora stories like hers that could really make and build the bridges between India and some of the other countries, and that's what we are really looking at here as well?
I think being a diaspora person, whether it's Indian or any other country, it's particularly challenging because you're constantly torn between, you know, where your loyalties are, and it can sometimes become cloudy. But I think it's beautiful that building bridges comes not just from politicians, but from policy making and diplomacy. And once you see that there's collaboration and that it's a win-win for two parties, that's what works. So we have to find means and ways and be creative and innovative in our approaches, and that's through cultural exchanges, events like this, where people have the ability to collaborate and learn from each other. After all, knowledge is power, you know, so the more you share, I really believe, you know, knowledge is given to us to be shared. So when you teach and you mentor young people, which is what I do right now, it's an amazing story.
And finally, let me, you know, ask you this: that in terms of the Canada-India relations, it's been a huge success, but right now it's being seeing some of its most challenging times. Going forward, how do you see those reviving, or do you think it could take some time before things go back to being normal?
You know, it's like a quarrel between siblings, and you know, you do kutti for a while, you don't talk to each other, but eventually we are all the same, we are all humanity.
We have with us Mr. Lee, who is the ambassador of the Republic of South Korea, speaking to NDTV. So thank you so much for taking out the time.
Pleasure.
My first question to you is that what brings you here? What are your aspirations and goals and objectives in terms of the South Korea-India partnership?
Thank you for having me. Obviously, I'm here to learn India in overall. I've been here in India for only 2 months, so it's in my learning process, learning period, and I thought it would be nice to come down here to learn the state of Odisha, the India in overall. Was organized by the Indian government. Why not? That's first reason. And obviously, Korea is one of the few um, manufacturing powerhouse in the world. We can help India achieve the vision of making India. And so I would like to see myself the investment opportunity in the state of Odisha. Many Korean companies are looking into many states of India, and obviously Odisha is one of those candidates.
Any specific areas where you are searching for those opportunities? You mentioned manufacturing. It could be IT, technology, semiconductors. Anything specific that you are looking at?
Actually, every sector is of my concern, my area of interest. In the state of Odisha, um, years ago, one of the Korean steel companies were very much interested in having investment in the state of Odisha. I do believe they are still very much interested in continuing to look into the possibility here. And obviously, there are other companies who are already very successful in India. They would like to expand their investment opportunity in other areas of India, other than they are already making huge success in India. So obviously, electronics, semiconductors, every area could be the area of possibility.
Opportunity. What about technological partnerships? Because that could also include everything from civil to defense areas. Any specific technological collaborations and partnership that the government of South Korea is very keen on and is exploring with India right now?
Actually, we can say every technology area is of our interest. For the time being, we probably might be more focusing on manufacturing technology, but India is very much advanced in space technology. In basic science, Korea is good at manufacturing technology. So, I mean,
The partnership could be win-win for both. What about the political uncertainty in South Korea? Do you think that is going to have an impact on investors, investment climate?
no, I don't think so. Everything is under control. Things are done according to our constitutional law. Everything is within the boundary of law and regulation. So I don't believe any of that is happening right now back in my country is not hindering any cooperation or partnership between India and Korea. It will be stabilized very soon.
Right. And what about the fact that it's so unprecedented? You know, the events of the last almost month and a half have been very unprecedented for South Korea and for the world to see, because everybody thought that the democratic framework has been stabilized in South Korea, and it seemed it isn't now.
Um, well, you know, the things, I cannot deny that we are going through a unexpected, difficult period right now. But things are still done according to the the limit of the boundary of laws and regulation. Everything is under control. So there's nothing to be apprehensive of what's happening in Korea, and obviously it will be stabilized very soon.
And How soon do you think this entire issue could be stabilized?
Could you um, it will be. It will be. So I cannot obviously can speak on behalf of the people in Korea, but it will be stabilized very soon.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for speaking to NDTV on what all the partnerships could be between India and South Korea.
Surely.
Get PlusNet full fibre for $28.99. Oh, wait. Now just $25.99 a month. Great value broadband you can count on with 145 megabit speeds. Plus, you'll feel the warmth of real people ready to help, even on the weekend. Here to answer big questions or small questions. Ah, that's a plus. Get in touch and come direct for our best price. Offer ends 22nd of January. Toasty.
Health isn't someday in the future, it's now. It's same-day GP appointments, physio without GP referrals, cancer testing, scans and diagnosis fast. Questions for an expert at any hour about anything. Support that lasts for as long as it takes. Feeling your best every day starts today. Call or go online now for your health insurance quote.
Time's up, fad diets. Life's too short to only eat grapefruit, hard-boiled eggs, cabbage soup. Ugh. Ditch the diet shakes, measuring tapes, and vibrating plates, and break free from fad diets with Voi. With its combination of clinically proven medication, personalised health app, and one-to-one coaching, join the weight loss revolution today at joinvoi.com.
No child should suffer the torture of trachoma, but so many are in pain right now. Nananga's lashes have turned inwards. They rip and tear away at his eyes. Pamelo's sight could be gone forever. He's just 3 years old. Kofanga screams for his mother. His eyes are so infected that he can't even see her. For so many children in the world's poorest countries, trachoma is torture. It's a painful infection often spread by flies, and it's destroying children's eyesight. But it could be stopped if you help today. By calling 0800 021 3925 and giving £2 a month to Sightsavers, you can help make sure children get the treatment they desperately need. You'll help us bring them the medicines and the care that can treat infections. And that means you'll be helping to save children from the torture of trachoma and a life of blindness. Please help us reach them. Call 0800 021 3925, text C7 to 82727, or go online and give just £2 a month now. Because we need you to help save the sight of children like Nananga. We need you to help save them from the torture of trachoma.
Last couple of hours, in fact last day, I've spoken to a bunch of people from across the world, but I think the most interesting are those that I'm going to speak to now, which is vibrantly dressed in all their finery women from UK, talking about everything from culture to curry to, of course, politics as well. Thank you so much, all of you, for taking out the time and speaking to me. And let me start first of all by asking you, how has Pravasi Divas been this time for you? What has been your kind of experience so far, your expectations, and what do you really wish to achieve out of it?
Yeah, this is my second Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. I was in Indore earlier, Rajshri and this side. I have an international NGO that is called All Ladies League Kenya. So इस बार अरेंजमेंट्स बहुत अच्छे हैं. बेस्ट वाज जगन्नाथपुरी का दर्शन, क्योंकि वहाँ पे हमारे साथ जो पुलिस थी, दे वर लाइक शैडो टू अस. तो बहुत अच्छे दर्शन हुए। मोदी जी ने बहुत अच्छा बोला कि हमें 5-5 लोगों को इंडिया ज़रूर लाना चाहिए और सब लोग अब इंडिया आना चाहते हैं बिकॉज इंडिया स्पेशली दिल्ली इज़ नॉट नाउ ए रेप सिटी। यहाँ पे बम नहीं फटते हैं, यहाँ पे बहुत सिक्योरिटी है। तो मैं आप सब लोगों को बोलूँगी कि आप लोग इंडिया
is an issue that has been sorted out. Okay, let's keep it short so that we try and cover as much.
Yeah. About Pravasi Divas, this is my first time in Odisha and even Pravasi Divas, and I think it's been amazing. I've met so many people around the world and made networking. I think that was one of the primary reasons. And then we saw Modi ji live here, and we have never seen it. He was just a kind of a, like his voices were like
a charismatic leader, and he really hits a chord with all of you. How important was it? I'm going to come to you. How important was it to hear Prime Minister Modi today? Because he's really reached out to the diaspora and connected at many levels, hasn't he?
See, personally speaking, live listening to Modi ji, it's an awesome experience. Seriously, the aura, the charisma he has, and the connection we can feel from the TV is different, but live is...
Of course, it's a completely different experience altogether. Let me then ask you, Rashmi ji, you also run a very important initiative as far as women is concerned. Talk to us about it. It's Inspiring Indian Women, if I get it right. So you try and reach out and connect with a lot of Indian women in the UK. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you to the Odisha government for such warm hospitality. It's like a bride today, and tomorrow 3 days, Odisha is dressed up, decked up, all like a bride. We are all from Inspiring Indian Women. We came here at Indore. We were about 8 or 9 people, ladies. Right now, we are 20 of us together, and we look forward to the Pravasi Bharatiya, because as an organization, our purpose is to connect the women of the world, to bring together the rural India with the urban India and with the women in UK, the British Indian women. Because
how many are connected with the Inspiring Indian Women?
Yeah, on Facebook we are more than 20,000 ladies, but if you look at our page and all, often our posts are reach 1 lakh inside. But the most important thing is all those who are actively participating, and that around 100 to 150 ladies are constantly working. And tomorrow we have a World Hindi Day, so it's at Nehru Center, UK. We have been organizing that, and
so a lot of culture promotion is what you are doing, and women-centric program.
Exactly, and we also are celebrating Republic Day on the 26th of January, where what we are doing is we are making the British Indian little ones say Bharat Mata Ki Jai.
Okay, great. What about you in terms of your key takeaways this time from Pravasi Bharatiya Divas? What mattered to you the most? Whether it was messaging, whether it was reach out, what was it that really mattered to you the most?
It's mattered to me because my in-laws house in Odisha. Okay. So I see the difference. कि पहले क्या था, nowadays is completely different. मैं भुवनेश्वर पहले भी आई हुई हूँ. आज is everywhere is really clean, neat and clean city. तो मुझे ये difference नज़र आया इसमें. And the beaches, like Spain beaches and Puri beaches, no difference. It's cleanness. Yeah, it's really, I just went to Spain also, I went to Puri also. मुझे लगता है कि हम इंडिया को प्रमोट करें, हम उड़ीसा बीच को प्रमोट
करें. All of you are the ambassadors of really promoting India. And while we talk so much about culture and the civilization connect here in India, I'm now going to also ask you about what is happening in the UK. We hear stories every day, and while an issue that is not new, but it has come to surface again, which is the rape gangs. I can't bring myself to call them grooming gangs. They are rape gangs which are run predominantly by Pakistani men, and now it's really dominating British politics right now. As all of you, understand that issue, are on ground, what is your take on how it's impacting British society?
Well, the name of, when they say Asian man, they look down right away because they don't know the difference between a Pakistani and an Indian man. And what really bothers me is grooming. Is grooming not a good sense? We groom somebody nicely. Yeah. It's not an evil word. So this is an evil word given, grooming, which is to soften the whole issue, which I don't appreciate it. To me, it should have been given a wrong, strong name. They should have been given strong punishments. Those are little kids from 10-year-old onwards. 10-year-old girls are like babies, and they were groomed badly, and they were. It's very similar to the Ajmer happened in 1980.
I'll tell you the difference. India, whether it's a single case or more than one, action has been taken. Yes. There is nobody saying no to an inquiry because it costed £180 million.
Of course, I agree to that because See, somehow I don't know what it is with the UK. But we have always think that BBC is very biased towards India and towards Hinduism as well. But somehow I find UK is very pro-Pakistani, pro-Islam, and I think that's the reason everything they do, it's hidden. Anything we do is like उछाला जाता है यार कि इंडिया ने ये किया, होली में गंद मचाया, दिवाली पे लेडीज में घर से नौकरानी की तरह काम कराते हैं. That's how they put us down. But wherever when it's something like that, they softer it like grooming gangs, and it's annoying.
Very important point. I want to take that to all of you as well, because all of you are women, you are mothers. If this happens to anybody, it really tears the entire society and the family down. And I put this to all five of you quickly, which is that how do you see that now reshaping British politics, British society?
Actually, it's really important because हम अब अपने आप को unsafe महसूस करते हैं वहाँ पे.
UK में unsafe महसूस?
Yes, because अभी 11 o'clock होती है. If my daughter is outside, मैं उसको call करती रहती हूँ, don't take Uber, because I am not trust right now. So ये difference.
Who would have thought this would have happened in the UK?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree to Seema that, what we need to do as mothers, that we need to teach our daughters that there's something like this, because the school doesn't teach anything about to beware. Actually, they teach the opposite. They teach Hindu aise hote hain, Hindus are like this, or, they have so many gods. A lot of negative thoughts, and the children come home and ask, Mummy, is it like this in our religion? And they question us. So I think the school, the curriculum must have some changes. The GCSE books must, NCRT is India, but GCSE books there, they need to bring in chapters. And we've got an organization in UK which is doing tremendous work inside UK, bringing in the various issues related to these grooming gangs. And also, another thing is that the word Asian. The Asian means
nothing called Asian. This is not Asian. Yeah.
They keep on saying Asians, grooming gang, but it's Indians. They are coloring everybody with the same brush. Asians are Vietnamese, Nepalese, Japan,
Sri Lankans, Bangladeshis. You can.
So, and come on, and there's not a single parliamentarian, I have to reassert this, not a single parliamentarian who speaks for us in the parliament, except for one or two.
Why is that so? Why are there so few voices?
Vote bank, they're scared of vote bank. They will lose the vote bank. Yeah, especially one or two parliaments, I don't know whether I should name or not. They have, most of the people in their constituencies belong to the neighboring nation, and they cannot hurt them. They will speak out loud.
Their constituencies have a lot of Pakistanis there, which is why there's an anti-India bias, you think?
They speak about burqas, Exactly. Put burqa. But then if they won't speak about any Sikh getting killed in Afghanistan, minorities being pushed out in Pakistan.
Did the issue of Bangladesh matter at all in the UK?
It does. Because
Bangladeshi minorities, which is your Bangladeshi?
Because we had a kind of a dharna in front of the parliament from the overseas BJP and the other organization like Inspiring Indian Women and others to support the minorities of Bangladeshis, especially Hindus. In fact, we have very close friends. Their family has been tortured in Bangladesh and they moved from there. However, the mom died there during that with heart attack. So I think that's where the problem is. But in England, at the moment, support is very, 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 very less. Only the hush. In the parliament, only one person we just talked about, Bob Blackman. Bob G only talk about supporting India and
some
supporting
bit of support from Priti Patel that you may get.
But Priti Ji, not kind of when she was in the power, she used to talk about quite a lot. Now we don't have a representation.
And interestingly, it was economists which called Bangladesh as the country of the year. Interestingly, then final question I want to ask you is that sitting here in India, there's a lot of what we get to hear or what we understand right now from British politics is that despite winning a huge mandate last year, Keir Starmer has come with some record amount of seats. It seems that his popularity is at a record low, historic low. Is that correct? Is that a correct assessment?
Yeah, because actually he's...
And what does the Indian community feel about it?
Unsafe. The word is unsafe because personally I feel it's a more biased thing towards Hindu and Muslim things because they support Muslims more than Hindu, I feel. Hindus are feeling unsafe there. Small kids, they are complaining and they're asking their parents, small kids, Muslim kids are trying to convert the Hindu kids in the school.
Okay, yeah. So those are very serious issues. Quick closing comments. I need to wrap this up. More than just making it about Hindu-Muslim, I want to ask from an Indian point of view.
Yeah, from the Indian point of view, most of the Indians are financially very well off. Okay,
Yeah, indeed,
but Keith
punch above their weight.
right above the weight but the policies of the Keith Stammer is to bring everything like down. So he's putting like so much of the stamp duty, the higher the inheritance tax has been changing. The capital gain tax he's trying to change. So he's changing a lot of things which will hit Indian economy, the people of the Indian economy very bad.
Indian community will be hit hardest from these taxes, is what you're saying?
Exactly. And most of the Indians are landlords. They not only have one house, they're 1, 10, 15 houses. My husband is state agent as well. We have plenty properties, but we have been hitting very hard because economically Keith Stammer is not good if the Indians have the money. Simple as anything. So that's this is
I think that's a very important point you've made.
I am hoping to shift back. I'm trying to persuade my husband to shift back business in India or in Dubai.
So that's a very important point you made, that at a time when the UK economy is facing a lot of problems, Keith Stammer is resorting to such tactics which will hit the Indian community the hardest. All right, I have to wrap this up, but thank you so much, all of you, for speaking.
So many Indian people are thinking Nigel Farage is better than Keith Stammer.
Nigel Farage is better. By the way, Nigel Farage is very anti-immigrant. So if you're feeling that he is better than Keir Starmer,
but at the same time, his inheritance tax policy, when he was saying it was excellent policy as compared to even conservative. I'm not too conservative, but his inheritance tax policy is better than even conservative.
All right. Yes, I have to wrap this up. But thank you so much, all of you, for speaking to NDTV. There you heard a very vibrant bunch of ladies in the UK, Indian diaspora there, speaking on everything that matters and speaking from the heart.
Step into an unforgettable year with a VIP, a very important postcode. Because in People's Postcode Lottery's February draws, players in one winning postcode will each win £12,000 every month for 12 months. Fill your calendar with the things you've always dreamed of. Sign up before midnight on the 31st of January for you and your neighbours' chance to win £12,000 every month for 12 months. Is your door in the draw?
I urgently need to ask for your help on behalf of animals at risk right now. With the pandemic came a surge in pet ownership. And sadly, we're now seeing a serious rise in neglect, cruelty and abuse. Our services are being stretched to the limit. To make matters worse, our costs are soaring too. But we refuse to let animals suffer. So please, act now to help rescue the growing number of animals who've never needed us more. Please call or text the number on screen now to give £2 a month to the RSPCA. In one of the toughest times we have ever experienced, your gift will make all the difference to animals. You could help provide more life-saving treatment, food, shelter, and the loving care that many have never known. We know there are millions of you who, like us, care deeply and won't stand by while animals are suffering. We have to reach those trapped in a life of abuse and neglect before it's too late. Because for many, the RSPCA is their only hope. But we can only come to the rescue with the support of people like you. So please, will you help us be there no matter what? Call 0800 313 4392 or text RSPCA to 78866 to start your monthly gift today. Thank you.
Family life. It's made of ups and downs, and those little moments. But should the unthinkable happen to you? Life insurance from Legal & General can help look after monthly bills, the roof over their heads, childcare costs, and most importantly, your family. Because no one protects more families in the UK than us. Premiums start from £5 a month and they never rise. Plus there's a £120 gift card after you apply. Legal & General. Ensure life goes on.
I've been thinking, I want to plan my funeral so it feels more like a celebration. My parents always said I was born dancing. I just love it. Bhangra, disco, even line dancing. So when my time comes, I want to have music, dancing, the lot.
With over 150 years' experience,
you can count on Co-op Funeral Care to help you pre-plan the funeral you want. To find out more, visit Co-op Funeral Care or give us a call.
Joining us today is somebody whose journey in Indian cinema is almost parallel to independent India's journey. Almost 7-8 decades that she has acted, directed, censored Indian cinema. She has been a vital part, a vital cog of India's journey through all these 7-8 decades. Asha Parekh, welcome to NDTV.
Hello.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Asha ji, you were part of the golden era of Indian cinema. Worked with the best filmmakers, iconic actors. How do you look at your own journey?
Well, it's been a very long journey, and I enjoyed being where I was. And the adulation of the fans was really very great, and I enjoyed it.
And more than the enjoyment, you contributed immensely to the growth of Indian cinema through, the years that it was actually growing up.
Yeah, it was a golden era, I would say, and we had lovely music, we had lovely lyrics, very good directors, very good cameramen. Not that we don't have them now, but at that time it was a different thing altogether.
And 1960s and 1970s, there was a lot of larger than life, depiction in cinema. How did you see the transition? I mean, your own journey and the transition of Indian cinema.
Well, the films which I did were happy-go-lucky cinema.
Like
and you. Yes, and the transition which has taken place has been good, I think so. We are coming out with more realistic films, and sometimes the films are not good because they don't have a good story, a good script. That's what I feel. In our times, the dialogues were very beautiful. I remember Main Tulsi Tere Aangan Ki. Dr. Saab had written such fabulous dialogues that I think it was one of the best films of my life.
And Kati Patang?
Yes, Kati Patang also. That was Gulshan Nanda's story. And it was a little bit of a shift from my glamour image into doing some serious roles.
And then breaking of taboos, you were depicting a subject which was very taboo during those days.
Yes.
So, from being this glam queen to those kind of roles, I mean, how did you dabble through all those genres?
Well, it wasn't very difficult, but as such, people thought that I was just a glamour girl and not a good artist. So I had to prove myself that no, I can act. And that started with Do Badan. Not from Kati Patang, but Do Badan.
But tell us, Asha ji, your journey in Indian cinema is almost like, 7 decades plus journey. See, India also changed a lot, Bollywood changed a lot.
Yes.
How do you see the transition of Indian cinema, transition of India as a country where we are moving in the direction that we are moving, as both as an iconic participant in that journey and then as an observer who can today have the luxury of watching it from a distance?
Well, as you people have come out with the National of the Year, it's a fabulous idea, and that shows how much India has, gone ahead. We are doing fabulously. And films, as I said right now, that it has taken a transition. We are having good films coming, good artists coming. You see, what was that, before we used to do 4 films together. These days, the actors do only 1 film at a time. So that is a very good thing because you are just concentrating on 1 film. We were doing 4 films. Sometimes we were doing 2 shifts, 7 to 2 and 2 to 10. So that is the thing which has been very good for the industry. That's what I feel.
So there was no work-life balance for you?
No.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.